Hello, and welcome back to Project Eden. We began the trial for the murder of Wolfgang. At the top of my suspect list is Diana, simply because she's the only one without a alibi. However, well, let's explain, right? Least suspicious to most. Winona, Ulysses, Diana, and Desmond all claim to be outside when the blackout happened. They've yet to say they're split up. The four of them are innocent. Confirmed. Besides Wolfgang the victim, that leaves 11 of us left. Toshiko and Ingrid were in the room the entire time. Apparently they can back up their story that they saw all of us go down to the boiler room, which, because of that, I don't doubt it. That's another 2 knocked off. 9 of us left. Now, the 8 of us who were in the game tournament, we all split in pairs. Not one of them has claimed that their pairs have slipped away. So the moment they do, or they imply that their partner was not there, Diana is off the hook. But because they haven't, everyone has an alibi, except Diana. So, very determinant if someone speaks up. And that will spare Diana from my suspicion. But anyway. How did he walk all the way to the boiler room? Because he lied about being sick, I think is the context of the question.
Good point. If Wolfgang really were bedridden, he would have stayed in his room.
Now that you mention it, to reach the underground floor, wouldn't Wolfgang need to descend, like, 4 flights of stairs?
No. Trying to think. I don't think so, based on the layout. Unless, oh no, yeah, I'm mixing up the laundry room with the dining hall. So, 1, 2, 3, 3 to my count. Yeah, because you get in the hole, you go left down 1, take a right, down a second one, take another right, then you're on that level. Then it's just a 4th right to be on down the hallway.
It's nothing for a healthy person, but for a guy who's supposedly really sick.
Supposedly is the key word in that, Kai.
It's not my fault it doesn't make sense. It's just what Wolfgang told me.
Okay, I believe you.
Didn't we decide Grace wasn't the killer anyway?
I mean, yeah, I kind of agree.
That's not
Grace
to say she
isn't.
doesn't know more than she's letting on.
True.
I'm not withholding anything else. Leave me alone.
Leave you alone like you bully Eloise? Is there more to the story than Grace is telling us? Too many people are letting their emotions cloud their judgment. I need to solve this mystery and set things straight. Non-stop debate. I think the first one of this trial. Towards a tablet game tournament. Blood spots and Tushu's
Why
fetch
don't you
quest.
tell everyone the truth, Grace?
Okay.
I've got nothing else to explain. The last
Okay.
I saw Wolfgang, he was in our dorm
Why have I
room.
taken damage?
Okay, hear me out. Secret hallways.
Nah.
We would have found those by now.
Maybe
Would we have?
Wolfgang was carried by the killer.
Nope.
That, or Wolfgang never told Grace he was sick.
I wouldn't lie about what he said.
What if Wolfgang used the elevator?
Nope.
You're not helping.
It would be carried by the killer, right? I don't know if it. Well, actually, maybe. Well, it proves it's wrong.
Why don't you tell everyone?
Okay. And we got a speed there. So who's it? Diana who says it? Itchy nose.
Carried by the
Nope. Oh, that one. Oh, firing wrong bullet. Right, there we go.
It's true Grace's testimony is inconsistent with where we found Wolfgang's body. But
True.
that's not Grace's fault. The
Okay.
only person we should be blaming is Wolfgang himself.
What
True.
the heck? Why are you blaming him?
Because he lied.
Simple. Because he lied about being sick.
Seriously?
You can cooperate. Can't you, Toshiko?
Yep.
During the investigation, you told me you saw Wolfgang in the hallways at 8:10 a.m.
Yep.
That's after I left.
Which, you know, proof he's a liar.
Yes, I remember now. Ingrid. She developed a headache, so I went to the pharmacy to find some medication.
Just conveniently a headache for
The
Ingrid.
trip itself went fine, but when I returned to the hallway, I found myself face to face with
Wolfgang. Yep.
Hold the phone. Toshiko actually saw Wolfgang?
So we know where he was 10 minutes after 8
We
a.m.
had a normal, pleasant exchange. He appeared perfectly healthy and even mentioned going to the tournament. Of
But he didn't.
course, He never made it.
Because he was never telling the
I don't wanna
truth.
be that guy, but can anyone confirm this?
Mm-hmm. I heard them chatting a while in my room.
Yep.
Though I was bedridden like a scenting ghost, I could still make out their voices here and there.
Fair enough. See, that should be enough, right, Desmond?
Strange. He told Grace he wouldn't attend the tournament, but then said the opposite to Toshiko.
So, that proves he's a liar, and that you should listen to me more.
Sounds like he was telling fibs to conceal his actual intentions.
Yep.
And what's his true plan supposed to be?
To go to the boiler room. Most likely.
Yep.
I'm lost. What business would a guy like him have down there?
Is it time for the letter? Why did Wolfgang go to the boiler room? That I can also answer. Generated testimony knife, no, shrapnel. Suspicious note.
This is it.
He was being blackmailed.
During the investigation, I found this note tucked away inside Wolfgang's blazer pocket. A lot of it is water damaged. The paper looks like it was ripped from a notebook, and the handwriting was done in ink.
Okay. Ulysses.
But some parts are still legible.
Have you, do you have any, pages torn out of your book? Yep.
This mentions the boiler room.
It does.
Exactly. The fact we found Wolfgang in the boiler room, and this note in his pocket, it can't be a coincidence. This note must be the reason Wolfgang went there.
Yeah. Makes sense. And the only person we know who has a notebook and has a pen to write it with is Ulysses. But he claims to have an alibi with Winona.
That mention of a secret sure is suspicious. I'm willing to bet Wolfie's reason had something to do with it.
Right.
Agreeing to meet a stranger in some spooky, dark place? Wolfgang had nerves of steel.
Or he had no choice.
Ulysses, Grace, do you remember Wolfgang getting delivered a weird note?
That was a good point. When was he given it?
No. The only time I recall him receiving anything was when Tozu distributed those envelopes.
I don't know anything about a note.
How convenient.
Really? Wolfgang shared nothing with you guys?
Because he's a liar.
Guess he didn't want them to know what it said.
Right. And if Wolfgang wanted to keep this note a secret, he would obviously want to keep the meeting a secret too.
Yeah.
And the reason he told Grace he felt sick
Was
Was
because
to
he was
remove her
blackmailed.
from the picture. Yeah. Once
Yeah.
she's not in the room, Wolfgang has his opportunity to sneak out and head downstairs. That's also why he encouraged her to attend the tournament.
So she'd be distracted.
Didn't this same guy ask us to share our blackmail with each other? Talk about double standards.
Whoa, you just figured it out, Kai? Good job. The fact that Kai figured it out for most of the rest of you is disappointing. This is why Eva and Damon are the smartest too.
Are we sure he wasn't just trying to protect Grace?
Then why would he tell you about it?
Maybe he knew he was meeting someone dangerous, so he thought it would be safer not to involve her.
Wouldn't it be the opposite? Wouldn't it be safer to involve her? Because then both would be alive.
That does sound like something Wolfgang would do.
No. Oh my god, they're making him into a martyr.
Not to interrupt, but on the
But?
subject of blackmail, did Wolfgang ever confront the person he had?
Oh? You don't know whose blackmail he got?
No.
Well, if you recall what Wolfgang said originally.
For that reason, I implore all you to speak with the person whose blackmail you have, and only them. Even if the contents of the envelope seem horrible, give them a chance. Give the chance for the person to explain themselves.
Regardless of the blackmail's contents, it would be treated as a matter between the recipient and the subject of the blackmail, and no one else. Which makes me wonder, could whether or not Wolfgang confronted his person clue us into what had originally been written on that note?
Maybe. That's true. Because we're assuming it was about Wolfgang's blackmail, which we have. So, maybe it's the other way around, and we had it wrong.
I'm not picking up what you're putting down.
If that person somehow realized Wolfgang carried their blackmail, but never came forward about it, they could have demanded Wolfgang show it to them. Hence the mention of a secret.
True.
However, if Wolfgang did confront his person, I don't see why that same person would then send him a threatening note. Not least act coy about information they both know.
If the person being
sense.
blackmailed wasn't the one who wrote the note, who was? Obviously, it would be the student with Wolfgang's blackmail.
Nope.
Oh, I knew that.
Yes, the secret in question may actually be a reference to Wolfgang's blackmail, not the sender's.
Sorry to tell you that, but we have an alibi. But again, bringing that up will actually just...
Is there any way to figure out whose secret it is?
I mean, revealing blackmails currently.
We'd probably need to know whose blackmail Wolfgang had first.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got just the idea. Yo, person who Wolfgang had blackmail on. If he gave you your blackmail back, can you say something?
Don't forget the person with Wolfgang's blackmail.
Do we speak up? I mean, I think I would have in attempts to gain trust, but then...
Oh, right.
That's only one right. Too many rights.
Hey, person who's got Wolfgang's blackmail. If you're innocent, say something already.
Fine. I mean, I would have... If I'm innocent, I should say something? No, you won't. Would telling everyone I have Wolfgang's blackmail really guarantee my innocence in their eyes? No, they already suspect you as much as anyway. I don't know. Although everyone may follow my direction during the trial, since they can't ignore the evidence on my side. When it comes to me, of all people owning Wolfgang's blackmail, how do I know they won't suddenly change their tune? They might chastise me for not revealing his blackmail sooner. Or maybe they'll think I'm confessing and accuse me of murdering him. It's not like I wouldn't be able to refute their arguments, but do I really want to subject myself to all that? Yeah, make them feel guilty after we save their lives. Does the trajectory of the trial really depend on whether or not
I was hesitant to admit it, since I knew it would put me on the spot.
Oh, Wolfgang and yours?
But I'd rather be suspected than be the reason this trial comes to a standstill.
Are you confessing? Do you have Wolfgang's blackmail?
Nah, not his.
He had mine.
Seriously? Way to be anticlimactic.
However, it's thanks to him that I have my own.
Honestly, good guy, John. No credit to Wolfgang.
Your own?
Wolfgang approached me the same day everyone received an envelope. Funnily enough, it happened right after I'd finished speaking with my own person.
Fair enough.
He and we had a good talk. He gave me his envelope and asked me to take care of it.
Did you?
If you need the proof.
Ah, Wolfgang's envelope had the same signature.
Because that is... Okay, Ulysses?
I held on to the letter for safekeeping. This should have all been said sooner. I realized that. I suppose my pride was stronger than my rectitude.
Honestly, no, you're fine, John. You're doing good.
My mistake for stringing everyone along.
No, you're fine.
I mean, at least you're honest.
Truth! Thanks for letting us know, bud.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Oh, come on, Damon. Do we do it? I know they don't like us, but like...
To acknowledge one's own misdoings is a most virtuous feat, I believe.
Good attempt, Toshiko.
Right. It's very noble.
Now everyone's just, like, condescending to him. If I revealed my blackmail right now, would everyone here treat me the same? Probably not, but we're gonna do it anyway. Would they just be as forgiving?
I take it our other blackmail person isn't gonna step forward?
If nothing happens, let's just have everyone recite whose blackmail they got one by one.
Huh? You sure that's a good idea?
Well, everyone knows that you've got Toshiko's, Mark has
No
Ingrid's,
one's reciting shit.
Eloise had
It
Grace's.
was only a suggestion. Calm your farm.
Never heard that before.
Even if we knew who had Wolfgang's blackmail, that doesn't necessarily mean they're his killer.
True.
It's annoying they won't speak up, sure. But unlike John, they would actually need to reveal Wolfgang's blackmail to prove they have it.
Fair enough,
This person might just want to respect Wolfgang's request to keep the blackmail between two people. Especially now that he's gone.
Honestly, that's a good deflection, Damon. That's good. That's good avoiding
I
it.
don't know. Is it really okay if we never find out?
Circumstantial evidence alone can't prove something beyond a reasonable doubt.
Yeah.
If we want to solve this case, we need indisputable evidence.
Yeah. It's like doing a jigsaw puzzle without the box art to help you.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. Then you work with the corners first.
The cases? Or...
Yeah.
Obviously, the case. The more pieces you connect, the clearer the image you're constructing becomes.
A good analogy.
The clearer the image, the more you can assume about it.
Fair enough.
Do you see what I'm saying? Once we know how Wolfgang died, the rest of this case should fall into place.
You certainly talk a lot stranger than you used to. But I think I get it.
Stranger than the ultimate liar?
Well, I don't want to be the one to start, but we can all agree Wolfgang was stabbed to death, right?
No.
When I was in the boiler room, I saw a knife bobbing around in the water near him.
I mean, it had blood on it, right?
And on the ground, there was blood. Dried blood. On the boiler room floor and on the hallway floor.
What if Diana, the ultimate makeup artist, cosmetologist, is applying makeup to hide any wounds that may have, or cuts that may have been gained from a fight with Wolfgang? Because the killer was hit, but the victim wasn't. Yeah.
That's gotta be Wolfgang's blood, right?
No.
The knife was bloody, so...
Huh. Seems like a brawl happened in the hallway.
No again.
While poor Wolfie was minding his own business, he was confronted by the killer, who attacked him and chased him into the boiler room.
Again, I don't know. Considering the killer is the one who's wounded, can we really assume Wolfgang's innocent?
That would line up with how we found him.
No, it would not. He was facing the door. Sure, he backed out into it, but he was crawling out of the water. He also had no wounds. It's not what happened. We need to show everyone where they've gone wrong. Okay. Blood spots, Tozu, Wolfgang's hens.
Is this really how you guys think Wolfgang died?
No.
The bloody knife is way too big of a coincidence. It was
Let's
floating
play it
in
all
the
through
water
first, right?
next to him.
Yeah.
Not just that. There's blood on the boiler room floor.
True.
And along the underground hallway.
True.
A confrontation must have happened in those hallways.
No, not in the hallways.
Yeah, it was probably a sneak attack. The killer snuck up on Wolfgang, stabbed him from behind.
So it's not even there.
And the rest is history.
With
Tozu
that
too.
knife-wielding villain on his tail, Wolfgang had no other place to run but the boiler room.
Tozu tablet?
The killer entered the boiler room after him, which was when they, you know, ended it.
It all makes sense.
Everything makes sense if you believe hard enough. Okay, so it's either Tozu tablet or the hands. I don't see how the hands
really
would...
how you guys think Wolfgang died?
The bloody knife is way too big of a coincidence.
Okay, right, hold on. Burn marks got nothing to do with bloods, so I guess it's Tozu tablet. Nope, wrong one. That's the wrong one as well.
In the water next to him.
So definitely after confrontation. Okay. So, come on, Jet, say it.
Look up on Wolfgang.
Sorry to tell you, Jet.
No, that's wrong!
Ding dong, you are wrong.
Jed, you talk a lot about the knife.
And the blood stains on the floor. Yep.
But did you ever look at Wolfgang himself?
Nope.
I gave him a glance. Nothing too deep.
To be fair, Jet, can you really see much through that helmet?
I figured. Have you actually taken the time to look at Wolfgang's back? you would have noticed a clear absence of stab wounds. In fact, none of the injuries he sustained were the type to cause severe blood loss.
Yeah.
Seriously. We went over the same thing with Cassidy during the mock trial.
Yep.
Couldn't you give Wolfgang the dignity of a proper investigation?
Hey, man! It's not like I didn't try!
But you didn't. Isn't that the whole thing that Damon spoke to you about?
It's just... this stuff doesn't come easy, you know? Nobody wakes up thinking they'll have to solve their buddy's murder later.
You two are buddies? Were you really?
Isn't that exactly what you should be worrying about in a killing game?
Not everyone has the stomach for investigating. That's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
That's why you got people like me to do the heavy lifting.
No offense, John, but besides physically, like the literal heavy lifting, in this trial, you've kind of just been sitting back. Yeah, you came forward when you needed to, but, yeah.
Since some of us here weren't able to investigate Wolfgang's body, I'll lay out his injuries.
Honestly, no, actually, I take that back. During the investigation, he was organizing everyone. I can't take that away from John. During the trial, though, that's my job. Investigation, I'll leave it to him. Organize everyone, tell everyone where they need to be. Until he murders someone, because then he'll tell, he'll tell Jet to investigate something, knowing that he won't do it.
There were 2 marks on the back of his neck. A bruise and a tiny red dot.
Yep.
His hands were burnt too, so 3 injuries in total.
Yeah.
Besides that,
can confirm.
I caught nothing else.
Burns, you say?
So that just proves that you checked after us.
Junior high, my dear Wilson. The killer used a flamethrower.
Wilson instead of Watson. Elementary instead of junior. Well, yeah. I get the references, at least this time.
These didn't look like normal burns. Not the sort you'd get from a stove fire, or a hot iron, or a flamethrower, I suppose.
Some kind of medicine, right?
Contradicting my theory outright? Jeez. So this is the thanks I get for vocalizing my thoughts?
Well, thank you once we're done.
Sorry, lass.
Yes, if I may add on to what John said. The burns actually bore a strong resemblance to what you might see in cases of Keraunoparalysis.
Okay. So, was that medically produced paralysis?
Huh? Ooh, now this I know. Keraunoparalysis. It's something which happens to lightning strike victims.
Okay. So, yeah, you get paralyzed after electricity. Oh, okay, so he was electrocuted to death, like I thought.
Getting struck by lightning is like getting kicked by a horse. The impact is so shocking. Some people will lose all feeling in their limbs for a few hours.
Oh yeah, and then you can't really move it.
I
Yeah.
was aware of lightning paralysis, but even I didn't know its official name. That's a nice head you've got on your shoulders.
What? That's a way to compliment someone. You've got a nice head on that shoulders.
Lots of people tend to overlook the importance of lightning safety, especially where I'm from.
Yeah, you do work with a lot of metals, and I'm assuming conductive metals.
My grandpappy once tried working out in the open during a thunderstorm. Pure luck's the only reason he lived to see the next day.
Well, I'm sorry to hear, but good job him for surviving.
Sorry to hear that and all, but what does lightning have to do with anything?
It proves how he died.
Well, if I had to guess, Ulysses, did it look like a big old tree was drawn on Wolfie?
Yeah.
A big old tree. Yes, that's how I would describe the burns on Wolfgang.
Yeah, so he was electrocuted.
So Wolfgang had lightning strike scars?
We're trapped inside a building, though. Lightning can't come from anywhere.
Lightning can't, but electricity
Could he
can.
not have been struck before the killing game?
No, he would have seen.
Fate is stronger than will, you know. Perhaps a deity decreed the glow of his altruism from their heavenly abode and felt him a threat.
You'd think he was struck down by a god or goddess.
Nay, those burns were fresh. One look was all it took for me to know that.
Yeah, so it's the cause of death.
If he had these scars before, we would have noticed them anyway.
But if those marks were recently inflicted, wouldn't it mean Wolfgang somehow went outside?
No, it means the generator exploded and it electrocuted him because he was in the water.
Not necessarily. This is only something I thought of just now, but the reason Wolfgang sustained burns similar to that of lightning strike victims may be because whatever inflicted his burns
used electricity
was equivalent in damage to a lightning strike.
Fair enough.
Saying there's something out here channeling the power of lightning?
Yeah, true. The generator. The idea sounded ridiculous, but when I think back in the boiler room, the object into consideration, Ulysses' theory starts a whole. Is it the taser? Oh no! Okay, this is the generator.
This is it.
So it's not the taser. Okay.
Ulysses, since you write everything down, do you have a description of the boiler room in your notebook?
Yes, I do. Why?
See, Ulysses, John, and myself, as well as Eva, carrying the trial. I mean, everyone else is helping, but I think those are the 4 podiums so far.
Since some people
I mean, Winona can help whenever she wants.
Scene, they probably aren't as familiar with the room as we are. So, you should read out your description of it.
Sure.
Okay.
The boiler room consists of a small concrete platform surrounded by ankle-deep water.
I'm curious about Ulysses' voice actor, but is the... I don't know if it describe it as a lisp, but is the lisp that Ulysses has, is that natural, or is that something that they're doing on command? Because if it's on command, pretty impressive in my opinion.
Throughout the room are boxes filled with various garbage, and in the back looks to be a generator, charred beyond belief.
Obviously not trying to discourage if it's natural. If it's natural, fair enough, it fits the character. Just trying to give compliments, that's all.
What you just heard is a brief summary of my notes.
Okay, but we need an in-depth summary.
Hear that? There's a generator inside the boiler room.
Yeah, anyone with their eyes can...
Of all the things which could deal similar damage to a lightning strike, doesn't a generator sound the most likely?
Yeah.
Didn't Ulysses say it was destroyed?
That could be the act of it killing Wolfgang.
At the time of the investigation, sure. But it wasn't always destroyed. You probably don't remember. But back when we found the dummy, I mentioned something about the underground floor.
Being what? So even I don't remember. Telling all people you said you were in this building before, tell us what's going on. Yeah, why didn't you mention this other girl? The hell? I never saw her. Huh? You were there too, bargain bin? Don't even. There's a floor below us. That's where I woke up.
To be more specific, it was the boiler room I woke up inside. I hadn't been alone either. Ava was also there.
Yeah, it just so happened to be the 2 people who are suspicious to the entire group.
I woke up first.
Not a competition.
Yeah. She did. Anyway, Ava, you agree the generator was in full working condition when we woke up, right?
Right.
Then that tells it, right?
So in the time since you woke up there, the generator was destroyed?
I mean, that's been, what, 3 days?
It's the only possibility. As for what destroyed the generator, well, it's hard to say for sure. My best guess would probably be...
Don't waste my time.
Oh, that's a good argue. That's a good argue thing.
2 things. First, destroyed is overly vague.
Because we don't know how it broke.
Ulysses explained the state of the generator much better. Charred beyond belief.
Okay.
Second, and more importantly,
where's your proof the generator inflicted those burns?
Aren't we getting to that point?
What are you talking about? The generator must be involved. It's near where Wolfgang is lying.
Being within range of something counts as proof now, does it? Do you also consider happenstance as conclusive evidence?
Okay, she wants to debate against the ultimate debater.
Funny how the standards shift, if so.
That?
Damn it, she's trying to make me look like an idiot. If I let this continue, the others might have started out me. I need to stop her before she veers this trial off track. Okay. Cycle Truth Blade. Got a hold cue. I got a swipe. slow down and fast forward. Okay. Cycle blades. Oh, I could just do that. Fair enough. Fire truth blades. Okay. So fair enough. So it should be vehicles, extension of the size, shape, size, and position. Point remark. Protection slice. Okay. Treat and prevent. So I'm assuming it's the same thing as the actual games. I've already skipped through too much of it to read the rest. That is a great animation. DigiPad, Blackout, Tozu.
While the generator may look suspicious, consider the time frame we're working with. If the only time you saw the generator in full working condition was on the day of our kidnapping, that gives us a period of almost 4 days.
Nope.
Do I really need to lay the... Day 1, we were kidnapped.
True.
Day 2, the pharmacy opened.
True.
Day 3, our blackmail was distributed.
Yep.
Day 4, Cassidy and Jet pitched their little tournament. And Day 5, today, the murder happened.
I guess.
In the period between days 2 and 5, anyone could have destroyed the generator.
So here's the blackout. Okay.
While the generator may look suspicious, consider the time frame we're working with. If the only time you saw the generator in full working condition was on the day of our kidnapping, that gives us a period of almost 4 days, in which the generator might have been destroyed.
Hooray, we advanced. Okay.
What about the blackout? It's impossible for the generator to cause the blackout if it was already broken prior to the tournament.
True.
What about the blackout? The building may very well have lost its power at any point before or after the murder.
Oh no, it's the DigiPad.
Is being moronic standard procedure? What about the blackout? The building may very well have lost its power at any point before or after.
There we go.
I'll cut through those words.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, it's the DigiPad because it froze on the time.
When the blackout happened, it froze a piece of equipment which had been set up for the game tournament.
Yep.
Mark's DJ pad.
Yeah, he doesn't like talking about his music, but...
While there was no physical clock inside the dining hall, a digital one has been built into Mark's pad. If you look at what time the digital clock is frozen on, it matches the time of death listed on the tablet. 9:35 a.m.
Yep.
Well, Mark, is this true?
Mark, are you gonna call me a liar?
There's no point in me saying anything when someone else has already said it better.
Then you agree with me?
Just answer with a yes or no, will you?
Oh, no, I'm on notice on this one. It's so simple to answer yes or no, but then they choose a third option.
Yes.
Thank you.
In any case, the matching times are too much of a coincidence. The destruction of the generator caused the blackout, and the blackout occurred at the time of the murder.
Yeah.
There's no way the destruction of the generator wasn't tied to Wolfgang's death.
What do you suppose happened then?
We fixed the generator.
I'm willing to bet the generator's destruction resulted in the boiler room's water becoming electrified. Since Wolfgang was discovered kneeling in the water, we can reason he was standing in it at the time this happened, and...
Damon, you and I both know that's not true.
No, because it was just because it was no longer electrified when we got there, doesn't mean it wasn't what killed him.
Huh?
Did you forget? It's impossible for the water in the boiler room to play a role in Wolfgang's murder, because it isn't even conductive.
No, it's not true.
It's not? After Damon and I woke up in the boiler room, I wanted to investigate the flooded area.
True.
So, I tested the water.
With a light bulb. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw Eva approach the pile of boxes and fish out a light bulb. Then, without hesitation, plop. She chucked it into the water, and it didn't turn on.
I even redid my test during the investigation, since Damon wasn't sure if he should touch Wolfgang's wet clothes. In both instances, I proved the water was safe to enter. To be honest, neither result really surprised me. Water will only act as a conductor if it makes contact with two separate energy sources.
Well, it did.
The boiler room's generator is just one source.
If you're standing in the water, one outlet should be enough. Speaking from experience, large bodies of water are terrifying conductors during storms.
Honestly, never thought about it that way, yeah.
All it takes is one lightning bolt, and the surrounding miles are scorched.
But the generator is a slow, persistent source of electricity. It's not the same as a lightning strike.
Would it be the wire, or would it also be the taser?
Electricity is electricity. Doesn't matter how it manifests.
I hope I'm siding with John on this one.
The reason you two avoided electrocution is because the generator's exposed wires aren't even touching the water. If they were, you would have been scorched right from the start.
True.
Maybe when the generator was destroyed, some of the wiring fell into the water?
No, but the extension cord.
Nah. Even in its current sorry state, the generator's wires are nowhere near the water.
It doesn't make sense for the generator to pose a danger anyway. The point of the killing game is for the students to kill each other, not for the facility to kill the students.
Unless someone orchestrated it.
A feature of the building killing a student would be a meaningless death because you can't attribute a student killer to it.
As for why the generator's been charred, sometimes electrical faults happen. Even my ship's engines have broken under particularly relentless storms.
Yeah, every time I see him, I imagine a wooden ship. Not an actual, like, modern ship.
And if an electrical fault caused Wolfgang's death, then his murder is purely on the hosts, ain't it?
Of course! If we were responsible for his death, you lot wouldn't be here discussing it.
Fair enough, at least he's honest about it. Is the generator really related to this case? The timing of the blackout is too perfect. Can't be a coincidence.
Okay, since we've ruled out the generator, what else could have electrocuted Wolfgang?
Damn, is Kai actually supporting us?
Yeah, it mightn't be relevant, but I did see one other thing on the boiler room floor.
The extension cord.
A toy gun or something.
Oh, never mind.
At least, that's how it came across to me.
Yeah, taser.
Not a toy gun, a taser gun.
What's the difference to some people?
A taser? I'll shoot electricity!
Whoa.
I'm not sure how the taser fits in with this case, though. It doesn't seem to have been used.
Your turn to shine, Desmond.
Nope. The taser was definitely used.
How so? I didn't catch any sort of string protruding from it.
Not all taser guns release a string when fired. Some are completely wireless.
Interesting. This shows a lot of research, I guess, that's been into this trial. Which is not even the trial, just the backstories, I guess.
For those types, you can tell they've been used if their blast doors are missing.
So there has been fired.
Side note, blast doors are plastic panels which cover the muzzle of a taser. If a shot is fired, they pop clean off. When I was investigating the crime scene, I found the taser gun in one spot and its blast doors in another. Speaks for itself, yeah?
Ah, you found it, yeah?
And here I was thinking the yellow bits were just random trash.
Where the heck did a taser gun even come from? Last time I checked, there weren't any lying around in the storage closets.
Is it from the gotcha machine?
Maybe it belongs to someone here.
Huh?
That would have to be Desmond.
Just think about it for 1 second. Everyone here has a dorm room which is themed around their talent. Mine's got DJ equipment. Jet's got car batteries.
You've got a car battery and a race car bed.
If that's what we have with our talents, what could someone with a dangerous talent have?
That's true. Eloise and Desmond. Who else? I guess, Grace's golf clubs are still weapons.
Are you talking about, like, knives and stuff? What? Is there something on my face?
Yeah, stupidity. But you do have a point. That is what Mark is talking about. Yes, knives and stuff. Also guns. Also a sword. Or a fencing sword specifically. I don't know what the actual term is. Ingrid is a blacksmith, so potentially actual swords.
Forget this. The person I'm talking about is Desmond.
Huh?
Yeah.
No way! You think the gun is Desmond's?
But the doors aren't locked, right? So anyone could have just came in and took it.
Yeah.
Hang on. You've got it all mixed up.
Jean, do you know anything about this?
Oh yeah, you two pairs, yeah.
As Desmond's roommate, perhaps you spotted something inside his dorm.
Ah, but did they go into your dorm, or did they go did they go into Desmond's dorm, or did they go into the John's dorm?
Alas, we stayed in my abode.
Thought so.
I couldn't tell you if he had weapons.
Talk about suspicious.
Did Desmond agree to bunk in Jean's dorm so Jean wouldn't see the weapons in his?
Or did John suggest it?
Listen, I get where you guys are coming from, but that taser gun, it's not mine. I've never seen anything like it.
No, that's a lie.
A lie?
His attempt to defend innocence won't fool me, not when I know the truth. His talent, his charisma, his blackmail.
I got it.
Yeah.
The blackmail Tozu gave us. That's my evidence.
You didn't get mine, did you?
Nope.
No. But the person who did informed me of what it said.
With his weapons at hand, Desmond guards the one only he trusts.
The writing style seems to match. I think it's legit.
That's more than a little suspicious, don't you think? Leaving a bunch of weapons unguarded during a killing game?
True, I think of all the people you could have trusted, it would have been John.
Don't judge me. This is the first time I'm hearing of it too.
You didn't know there were weapons in your room?
Yep, no idea.
How convenient. He says with a quiver of arrows.
Our rooms aren't particularly subtle in their theming. Are we supposed to believe yours is any different?
It is themed. I'm not denying that. But I sure as hell didn't catch sight of any weapons. If I did, do you seriously think I'd leave them unguarded and risk being found out?
Yeah, true. He has been the most cautious of everyone since this began. Honestly, like, the most cautious.
Yeah.
Like,
Desmond
ranked...
cares too much about everyone.
Maybe not about everyone, but, like, still, cautious, ranked number 1 out of 16.
He pointed out the broken doorknobs and gave us the idea to bunk together. Why would he hide weapons in his room?
Someone must have gotten the idea to rifle through my dorm because of my talent, and found the taser gun hidden inside.
I suppose.
There's no other way to explain it.
So while Desmond gets a bunch of guns, all I get is an old game console and a dead controller.
Okay, but that's your talent. If you don't want the video games, give it to me then.
Take the bad with the good, dearest pupil. No one fears game consoles.
True. I mean...
Well, no one besides parents and the religiously inclined.
True. But you could also beat someone to death with a game console.
Enough talking about consoles. Why are you guys believing Desmond so easily?
Because he has an alibi.
If the taser gun belongs to him, then he's the killer. Any argument he makes against it is just a flimsy excuse.
He has an alibi. During the time of the blackout, he was with Eloise. Cool.
Desmond is the killer.
No.
The taser gun came from his room.
Okay, and?
I had no idea the gun even existed. I was barely in my dorm to begin with.
Because you wanted to draw attention.
Fetch quest, taser gun.
Away from your weapons hoard.
Yeah. And?
But...
If this is about avoiding suspicion, why did Desmond say the taser gun was fired?
True.
I don't think a killer would draw attention to their own murder weapon.
I was with Desmond.
Can't confirm. I'm gonna keep until last time.
I call it reverse psychology.
True.
You
Also
sprinkle
possible.
in a little helpfulness, and suddenly everyone trusts you.
Yeah, that is a valid thing.
Murder happened.
Cool. If Desmond isn't. When I compare the evidence to everyone's statements, yeah.
Desmond is...
So, gotta agree with Eloise.
I had no idea the gun even existed. I was barely in my dorm to begin with. Because you wanted to
Where are you,
draw
Eloise?
away from your weapons hoard.
Yep. Is it no?
But...
Next one.
If this is about avoiding suspicion, why did Desmond say the taser gun was fired?
Yep, this one.
I
Nope.
don't think it
Killer would draw attention to their own murder weapon.
There we go.
Desmond.
Thank you very much. Even though you threatened to murder me. I'm not gonna let that down, to be fair.
Regardless of whether or not Desmond knew about the gun, he definitely wasn't involved in the murder.
True.
Eloise can back me up on this.
Right.
Because during the time of the murder, there was the blackout, but he wasn't with anyone but Eloise.
Desmond and I, we were together in the courtyard at the,
Time of the
at
death.
the time of Wolfgang's death.
I see. Then both of you can be ruled out as suspects.
Don't just take her word for it. She could be covering for Desmond.
What would she gain from that?
Jeez, if you have a bone to pick with these guys, at least save it for when we're not solving a murder.
Yeah. Why don't you want to believe Eloise?
Ever since the investigation, these two yuppies have been on my case non-stop. They're obviously working together.
Okay, but you were also preventing us from investigating.
Not gonna lie, I see where Grace is coming from.
Yeah, but they don't benefit from working together.
When Eloise tried to single her out earlier, Desmond was pretty quick to jump in and agree.
Even so, since the topic has been brought up, I would like to mention something.
Okay.
During my trip to the pharmacy, I believe I saw Desmond and Eloise in the courtyard together.
Okay, see, that's the third person.
You also said you were back in the hallways around 8-10 a.m., didn't you? That means those two were wandering around unsupervised. Either one of them could have left the courtyard.
True.
If Desmond was the killer, what would Eloise gain from defending him? Should the wrong vote be cast, nothing about the rules suggests an accomplice of the killer would be exempt from execution.
Thank you, 14-year-old, for proving to be smarter than certain people of this room.
That's right. And even if she was exempt, Eloise is too nice to be an accomplice to murder.
Uh-huh. Are you always holding your arm behind your back?
Grace, I realize Desmond's irked you, but that's no reason to keep steering everyone down a dead end. Let's move on.
Thank you, John. Damn, is this from Grace's perspective?
A person who's always steering others down a dead end, huh? I guess they needed a GPS.
G's probably gonna be Grace, but what is it?
Anyway, we should totally thank Desmond for clearing things up now.
Or is it a reference to something I don't know?
Not only do we know he's not the killer, now we know how the killer got their hands on the taser.
Fair enough.
Now we know how... What?
Someone must have gotten the idea to rifle through my dorm because of my talent, and found the taser gun hidden inside.
That is what Desmond said.
Yup, that is word for word what Desmond said.
Can confirm.
Right.
Was just there moments ago.
Good memory.
All in a day's work, baby!
Can you repeat that quote, Cassidy?
Again. But I just said it.
Okay, and?
Yeah, but I want you to say it again.
Alright.
Yep.
Someone must have gotten
The idea
to rifle through my dorm because of my talent and found the taser gun hidden inside.
Meaning you did know about it, right? And the only people who would...
Is there something on your mind?
If Desmond's testimony is anything to go by,
Then...
wouldn't this mean the culprit has to be male?
Why?
What?
If I remember correctly, all the guys were aware of each other's pairings.
True.
With that sort of knowledge, a male student could try and infiltrate another male student's dorm.
True, but we also wouldn't know if they were using that dorm or not. Because, like, we knew who was paired with who, but we didn't know who was using which room. We didn't know that Ulysses was using Wolfgang's room until we caught them swapping. I mean, at least I never announced that I was bunking in Kai's room.
None of us knew which room we'd be bunking in.
True.
It only takes a quick peek to check if someone's inside or not. Anyone could have done that.
And who's to say the thief didn't barge in before we started bunking?
True.
Or while people were having breakfast.
True.
Seems there was a mountain of opportunities for our culprit to sneak in unnoticed.
Yeah, Eva. Jeez.
Doesn't exactly help us narrow things down, does it?
You tried, don't worry.
Well, guess this taser gun was a bust.
Not really, no. We found out how Wolfgang died.
Look on the bright side. If it's been fired, then it's probably what electrocuted Wolfie.
Yeah, thanks, Ingrid.
If trying to suss out who stole it isn't feasible, why don't we talk about Wolfie's other injuries instead?
Sure, actually,
You know,
why
the
not?
ones that weren't burn marks? Those seem like they could lead us somewhere.
So, that's true. Is it going to be Toshiko who killed Wolfgang? Because, I mean, Ingrid definitely confirms her alibi by reciting that the 8 of us went down. But yeah, no. And if Toshiko did go to the pharmacy, but she might not be the only one, to be fair. So unless Ingrid can actually confirm Toshiko never left the dorm room with her, still Diana is my lead.
Yeah. Besides the burns on his hands, Wolfgang also had a bruise and a tiny red dot on the back of his neck.
Yeah.
A bruise and a tiny dot, huh? Want to try tackling them in alphabetical order?
Sure, yeah. Bruce first. Rolling pin.
Alphabetical order? Now, aren't you full of smart ideas?
Is that not a bit of... That sounds condescending.
No need to thank me. It's only common sense.
I suppose.
Okay.
It's a way to decide.
Let's discuss the bruise first.
Rolling pin. Steel, rolling pin. Steel and it's dented.
I think it's safe to say the killer didn't use a flamethrower.
I agree. She's not wrong. Well, no, she's not wrong.
Wolfgang got into a fight?
Kinda.
Someone might have attacked him and aimed for his neck.
If you can even reach that high.
Either way, something must have hit him.
Well, guess I'm agreeing with Kai.
What if Wolfie fell over?
What a clumsy boy.
How spindly he is, one tiny misstep could leave the poor fella bruised for days.
Skinny guys bruise easily, eh?
Why?
Let's see if you're right.
Why?
Ulysses, fall over.
No, thank you.
Just treating him like a dog. Poor Ulysses, man. Anyway, where are you, Kai? And honestly, his whiny attitude has calmed down a lot, I think. Maybe I'm being a bit too harsh at this point. He's been helpful, he's backed up my points.
Something must have...
There we go.
I got it.
Agreeing with this idiot.
Kai is right. Something did hit Wolfgang.
Steel rolling pin.
Really? Man. And I was only blurting out the first thing which came to mind.
Yeah, you do that quite a lot.
Anyway, from how you're wording things, do you know what that something is?
Honestly, I didn't expect him to actually know that we knew. Good job, Kai.
A rolling pin.
A steel rolling pin.
Wolfgang was hit with a rolling pin.
How on earth did you reach that conclusion?
Ava and I found this pin inside storage closet A.
Yep.
Which is just a few feet from the crime scene. Coincidentally, the pin also has a dent.
Which, yeah.
You sure that's enough to say it's involved? Could just be a flimsy
Honestly,
pin.
valid concern, Jet. Fair enough.
No. There's something else which solidifies this pin's role in the murder.
Okay.
Handprints. 2 of them on the edge of the pin.
So the killer used a rolling pin to attack
How
Wolfgang?
do we know there's handprints?
It certainly explains the bruising on his neck.
I mean, I guess the handprints would be there if there was makeup on someone's hands.
They must have wanted him to be unconscious so he wouldn't fight back.
Then why inject him? Because I thought the injection was solely for, whatchamacallit, to inject him to knock him out.
Exactly. It would be easier to drag him into the water if he's not awake.
You reckon the killer purposely put Wolfie in the water?
Yeah, I mean, it would be easy to get an alibi that time.
Damn! With one electrified blow, Wolfgang is zapped to bits with the taser!
Yeah.
Since he's lying in the water, he's definitely a goner.
Considering the logical ethos of the killer's rectitude, especially when governed under constricting pressure, leaving him catatonic would be the most facile solution.
You wanna say it in English, you child?
I guess it makes sense.
After shooting Wolfgang with a taser, what was the killer's next move? If I figure that out, I'll be a step closer to solving this case. I'm gonna guess it didn't knock him out. Getting an alibi.
So let me get this straight. The killer knocked out Wolfgang with a rolling pin.
Yeah.
And then chucked the pin into closet A?
When exactly did they discard the pin?
They couldn't have done it when Eva and I were already downstairs.
True.
Because the two of us went inside closet A.
True.
Why were you inside the closet?
To find the backup generator, remember? Jed and I checked closet B. Damon and Kai checked closet C.
Right.
Eva and Grace checked closet A. And Jean and Mark checked closet D.
Yeah.
The killer just discarded the pin before we came downstairs.
Yeah, I think Mark's right.
No.
Because the killer could run upstairs and go back to their room.
Which they did.
Immediately after discarding the pin.
Because the killer placed the pin. Oh, yeah, it doesn't mean they left. They left before we arrived.
So let me get this straight.
So...
The killer knocked out Wolfgang with a rolling pin.
Footsteps.
And then chucked the pin into closet A?
Which I'm assuming is Diana?
When exactly did they discard the pin?
They could have done it when Eva and I were already downstairs.
Yeah.
Because the two of us went inside closet A. Why were you inside the closet? To find the backup generator, remember? And then I checked closet B.
Yep.
Damon and Kai checked closet C.
Yep. Nothing wrong with those two.
Eva and Grace checked closet A.
Nothing wrong with that.
And Jean and Mark checked closet B.
Nothing wrong with that.
The killer just discarded the pin.
Yeah?
Before we came downstairs.
No.
Yeah.
Leave me out of this. It's not my problem if you don't
Okay,
get...
fair enough. So it is Diana.
The killer knocked out Wolfgang with a rolling pin. And then chucked the pin into closet
Damn,
A.
we need to find a way to get ourselves healed.
They could have done it when Eva and I were already downstairs. Because the two of us went inside closet A. Why were you inside the closet? To find the backup generator, remember?
I mean, it was in the middle of a blackout, so you didn't necessarily have to have, you know, to get rid of it.
The killer just discarded the pin.
Yep.
Before we came downstairs.
Yep.
Yeah, I think Mark's right.
Yep.
Because the killer could run upstairs and go back to their room. Immediately after.
Okay, there we go.
No, that's wrong!
So it was between one of those two, so fair enough. But, I mean, no one's claiming that sentence is wrong.
There's proof the killer fled the underground hallway at a later time.
Yep.
When the tournament attendees were looking for a backup generator, Kai and I heard someone run past our room.
It wasn't just us, though. It was Eva and Grace.
Huh? Oh, man, that's right.
Yeah, thanks for joining in, Kai.
We were just exploring the closet when, all of a sudden, we heard footsteps in the hallway.
Yeah.
That's when Damon decided he was gonna follow where the footsteps came from and entered the boiler
Why'd
room.
you seem confused? It's not that hard.
Did anyone else hear these footsteps?
Eva did.
Nope. Not ringing any
You were too
bells.
busy chatting up Cassidy.
Yeah, Jed and me didn't really hear it over all our talking.
Yeah. Chatty, chit, chat.
I heard the footsteps.
Huh? You did?
You didn't?
Well, I initially thought it was my imagination, so I never said anything.
Ashamed to say, I also brushed off the footsteps. Thought I was hearing
Okay.
things.
Also, those two back to back. Also, those three are people who have alibis. Fair enough.
However, since other people can attest to hearing them,
Then someone else was on the underground floor with
And
us.
the only one who doesn't have an alibi is Diana.
Before anyone tries to bring it up, none of the tournament attendees could have been the person running. Since everyone explored the closets in pairs, they all have solid alibis.
Which means Diana.
I'm sure we can all vouch for that, aye?
Everyone was still in their closets after Damon and I found Wolfgang. So...
Considering the footsteps were moving away from the crime scene,
Yep.
I think it's safe to say they belong to the killer.
Wouldn't that mean the killer fled while you guys were exploring the room?
Which is very risky, to be fair.
Hold up. So the killer had been right next to us?
Boy, that's a given.
Yep.
Huh? How are you so calm after hearing
It's
that?
common sense.
The only thing which stood between us and a murderer was a door. What if they attacked us?
It couldn't take all of us. There's 8 of us and one of them.
Well, they did it, so I don't see what the problem is.
Sheesh, you're weird.
And you're stupid, but, you know, you're both innocent, so.
Why not run away earlier, though? Fleeing while everyone is searching seems really risky.
Maybe it was a miscalculation.
Or maybe it's because they saw us coming down.
It's not impossible, I guess.
If not that, then maybe the killer returned to the boiler room after discarding the pin?
Sounds pretty meat-headed if you ask me.
But we didn't ask you, to be fair.
Yes, you'd think a killer would use that moment to run away.
For the two who heard the footsteps, describe the
Sound like socks.
It was kinda socky.
Also, it wasn't just the two of us, it was four of us.
As in, it sounded pretty soft. Like the person had taken off their shoes.
Saki, huh?
Yeah, that's how you want to describe it?
Seems this killer was purposefully trying to keep quiet.
Because their footsteps were soft?
Yeah.
That seems like a leap in logic.
You seem a bit hesitant. A bit, you know, worried.
No, I get what she's saying. Everyone here has socks on, I'm pretty sure. So any one of us could have run down the
I
hallway.
mean, Jet couldn't have, but Jet's already got an alibi. Plus, Ingrid's got boots on. I don't think she could take that off in a timely manner.
The thing with shoes is, not everyone here has the same kind. If the killer had worn theirs, we might have been able to figure out their footwear from the sound it made on the floor. Then we just have to single out the person with that footwear.
Yeah.
Man, it would have been so easy to find the
I
killer.
suppose.
We already can find the killer, though.
It's the person who doesn't have an alibi.
What?
What? Oi, are you pulling our leg?
No, it's been obvious since we started.
I'm completely serious.
Unless there's a twist at some point. You know. I just noticed the time. So we'll have to leave it till the next point. Hopefully you've enjoyed. Hopefully I can see you in the next one. With that, goodbye.